Okay.
Hey, is it possible if Saddam you can send this to your group chat, your F1 Paddock Club, and also an essay?
I already did.
And you send the link to your F1 essay.
Yeah.
Please send the link to the F1 Paddock Club.
Okay, I'm sending it. Oh, still no shoe. We want to come and celebrate, Max, please.
Who said that? Who said that?
Well, Saddam. Yeah, I can. I'm very well. Thanks for asking. It's good. Not the same without you. We don't have any tech superstars in our grade anymore.
Did I not just fix Netflix on Mr. J's? No,
wow, big accomplishment. You gave a teacher Netflix.
Yes. I'm a godsend. Oh, how was the last day of school yesterday?
Oh, it was actually quite nice. We just everyone was on the field. We bought fandangos and we just went home at 11 o'clock.
Oh, okay. Because it was too hot yesterday. So like.
Yeah, it was way too hot.
Oh, Asay, you and I did the same thing. Why? You tweeted sorry to all our pit crew. The pit lane is officially green. We can finally talk about the grand finale to end Dhabi show. Woo! And there goes my internet. We are so excited to do this. And just as a recap for everyone, this is Box Goss F1, where three beautiful, two of them are sometimes the opinions are somewhere, but one amazing opinionated, two somewhere opinions, and one amazing opinionated women come together and discuss all things. Hey, sit your ass down. Wait. Why are you doing that? Starting that now? Yes, you are top liver. Go sit down. Anyway, we are basically, we like to chat about all things Formula One. This was our very first season of doing this show. So thank you everyone to hanging out with us, and a big cheers to everyone for just hanging out and hanging out with us all this season. We love you. We appreciate you. Cheers. But before we go into what was a dramatic Formula One race, a dramatic grand finale, let's talk about the news, which I say you had something.
So we want to say goodbye to Jean Todt, aka Michelle Yeoh's husband, as the former FIA president, and a big hello to Mohammed bin Suleiman as the new FIA president. He was he is an Emirati rally champion, and after his retirement, he has gone on to do the lighter things in life, such as start an organization that helps make motorsport a little bit more sustainable and collect classic cars. And he's also seems to be a stickler for rules, so much so that he has threatened to punish Lewis Hamilton for missing the FIA gala. But I welcome it. Hey, it could be worse, right? I mean, it could be worse. At least he's coming in, laying down the law. I don't mind it. So we want to say, I think we speak on behalf of Box Goss when I say we're looking forward to seeing what you can do, and we say goodbye, and a very big goodbye to Jean Todt. And if you see this, Michelle, we love you. You were amazing in Crazy Rich Asians. We like. I mean, it was a good film. You, as Eleanor Young, scared me. You haunt my nightmares. That's how good you are. Love you, Michelle Yeoh.
Well, honestly, the only thing I care about is that we're going to be losing Michelle Yeoh. So we think we're so sorry, and we'll love you. But we also want to note that Suleiman is the first non-European to hold this title. So we also want to congratulate him on that. But honestly, if you're gonna find a real big favorite for not showing up after what was a very disappointing last race, okay. Anyway, before now, I think without all of that news and stuff like that, I think it's time to bring on our next guest. Afi, you haven't introduced a guest yet. Do you want to do the honors?
Okay. So the guest that's coming on is my bestest friend. Sorry, it's my friend from school. He's been on for like the first or second show, and he's very iconic. And I would like to bring on Rudra. Woo. Rudy.
Thanks for the enthusiasm, Afi. That was, I think, a bit too much. Could have toned it down there.
You're so rude. I'm going to sue you.
Oh, Rudra, we love that wit. How are you, darling?
I'm very fine. It's been a really exciting season. I'm just really grateful that I could come on again and talk about it with you guys. So thank you to you guys for letting me on,
Our pleasure. We're also going to be doing a fun exercise at the end, to see how we feel about all the drivers at the end of the show, toward the end of the show. But yeah, we're so glad to have you back. And I guess we should ask you, how did you feel about right before the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, how were you
Okay.
feeling about this?
Honestly, since I only became a fan of F1 about a year or two ago, so that was probably the most anticipated race I had like in my entire F1 fandom career. I was really excited to see who would win between Lewis and Max, and because they were even on points, it was just so tight. So I had butterflies in my stomach, and I was, honestly, I was just really excited to see who would win. You know, whether Lewis would be confirmed as the GOAT, or whether Max would, kind of enter and kind of disrupt his road to greatness, I guess you could call
It. Indeed, I think all of us had a few butterflies in our stomach come a week ago when the grand finale was absolutely decided at the Yas Marina circuit. That was somewhat more exciting than I think we all hoped for. And for once, Yas Marina was not that terrible, but gosh, I can't believe it's still on the calendar for that for another 9 more years. Give me strength. Anyway, look, it is what it is. So without further ado, I think we can go in and just rip off the damn Band-Aid. We got to get this through, ladies. Just so you all know, all three of us are massive Lewis Hamilton fans. And yeah.
Go Max.
Remind me of who your faves are.
So I've always been a big follower of, Mr. Sexy Man, Daniel Ricciardo. But throughout the season, I was kind of like, I don't want to burst your guys' bubbles, but I was kind of rooting for Max throughout the season just because I wanted someone else to win,
And you know what? Look, for the F1 fans that are F1 fans and that have other favorites other than Lewis, I don't blame you all for wanting to root for someone else. One person that we hope to have on the stream next season is a massive Ferrari fan. Like literally, his nickname is Leclerc, last name is Leclerc, and he was rooting for Red Bull the entire way through the season. So we get it, we understand. But yeah. Anyway, so I guess let's get into it. Also, Ricardo is back. Let's get into it all. And tackle, oh goodness, what this is all about. So for Abu Dhabi, the qualifying, I think, let me make sure that I have that up. I think it was Verstappen first, Lewis second, and I think Checo third. Right? Yeah. So what do we all think? How is the feelings? What did we all think of qualifying?
After qualifying, I was pissed off because when I saw the tires that Mercedes was on, I was very annoyed. But turned out to work in their favor. But that was like my main gripe because I was very confused as to why they were on those tires. Sorry, I cut you off.
For me, qualifying, it was. I wasn't expecting to see Nicholas Latifi out-qualify George Russell though. That was shocking.
Who?
Nicholas Latifi. He out-qualified George Russell. Nicholas Latifi.
Sorry?
Nicholas Latifi out-qualified George Russell.
I've never heard of a.
We don't care. Keep going.
I've never heard of the Nikolai Latifi. That's like something.
Me neither. I've never heard of that man in my entire life. Don't know that man. I've never seen that man. I don't understand it. And if you somehow happen to miss this amazing race, you will understand very quickly why we are all saying that. Anyway, keep going.
No, it was the race. The race, it was just like the qualifying, it was fair. Mercedes didn't make the right call with her tires, but it's like it was good to. I don't know what to say. Like, it happened. I'm
sorry,
I just qualifying. It feels like such a mile away.
Honestly, I want to make a correction. Sorry, I completely lied. Checo did not come place third. It was actually Lando Norris who came third. And Lando Norris, his comment was so funny. He basically was like, "I want no parts in all of the mess that will happen at the beginning of the race. I want no parts," and he was nowhere near it. It was very funny. Yeah, it was Norris third, then Checo fourth. So, just a
Lando
correction.
Norris is very,
It's
very
true.
smart.
How can
And
you mess that up? Norris was so good during qualifying.
Mhm,
He was really
yeah.
good. How can we say
he was
Checo?
really good.
Checo was good, but like Norris was really funny. Like
Checo was really good.
parts. Norris said that he wanted no parts, and then I think when Martin asked him like who he wanted to win, he said, "Oh, sorry, Zach is calling me," and then very quickly yelled Max, and then ran off. So it was very interesting to see all that. But congrats to Lando for making third. That was very good.
I feel like I don't know if you guys saw this clip. I don't remember which race it was from, but I think it was the one where Alonso and Hamilton had that like it was like Alonso was kind of trying to defend Hamilton, and then after the race, like post-match interviews, Alonso was giving his interview, and then Max just came by. He walked behind him, and Alonso turned to Max, and he was like, "Max, sorry, I tried to hold him back, but he just like sped through," and he like patted Max on the back. It's like, "Sorry, I tried. I don't know if you guys have seen this clip, but I feel like a lot of the drivers are rooting for Max.
No,
Yeah,
and what was said, I'm sorry.
Sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
There was like a post, I think, on WTF1 of like which drivers were supporting which potential champion. And like I think Lewis had Bottas and Russell. And then Verstappen had Vettel, Alonso, Checo. Lando wasn't publicized, but everyone knew. I think, yeah, it was a lot. I think Sainz also was on Verstappen's side too. It was very disappointing.
Lewis against
look, I do not understand why all the drivers were really rooting for Max to win. I think they were all sick and tired of the Mercedes supremacy, which fine, I completely understand. Yeah. But like on a personal level, Verstappen has friends. So I'm sorry, I don't want to be that bitch. But like Verstappen does not seem the most personable person. I mean, there's some people that like, like have charisma, like Ricciardo, North, like they have besties, right? I mean, like even Leclerc and Sainz, I can see them getting along with people. Even Lando, who is apparently a recluse, I think he has friends, and things like that. Verstappen does not strike me as someone that has friends. No, but I do forget.
If you've seen Verstappen's like personal interviews or like some of the Red Bull videos that he's posted with like him and Checo or him and Ricciardo, him and blah, 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 blah. He seems like a really cool guy. To be honest, like he seems like a really chill guy to hang out with. But on the track, he's an ass. And we only really know him on the track. So I can understand how you would get that feeling.
I watch one more.
And it's like at the same time, we only get what we see from these drivers on the track and in the interviews that they put out. Maybe in their social media as well too, but also we only get what we see from them. There might be a different layer to that. Like Afi said, we might sit down with Max Verstappen for a cup of tea and we might find out, oh, he's a pretty cool guy. Like
Eugene.
And I also want to just argue that, sorry, I'll get to comments later. I also just want to argue that like Lewis also doesn't seem as approachable anymore given his success. I don't know. I think he is a nice guy, but like, yeah, you know, it's sorry, I just saw what was on the live stream. So let take it down. Anyway, Afishika, go ahead.
Wait, no, wait.
Wait, what happened? What happened?
No, Salam, I'll actually sue you.
Stop fucking with that stream.
No, Salam, I'll actually sue you. That's character disinformation. What's it called? What's it called? Character it's character assassination. That's rude. I take it off. No, but Eugene, one of our viewers, hi Eugene, thank you for being with us. He said that Verstappen appears to or is more friendly than Lewis. I can see how you would get that vibe.
I can see how you would say that.
Lewis is quite some way. He's some way. But like, let's not get it twisted. Lewis's best friend is Vettel. We all know this. Their bromance is real, and we love to see it. Thank you. Shall we move on to the actual race?
We love to see the bromance, not the fan fiction.
No, and I think he has other friends as well too, because with Vettel comes Schumacher, and I think Schumacher and Hamilton are actually buds. You know, we think on some level, because you know, greatness equals son of greatness. It meets son of greatness. You know, like all of that sorts of thing. I think he actually has some relationships. I think Bottas, that relationship is deep. I think that's deeper than I think any of us expected, especially with his farewell that just happened the last few days. I think that's deeper than all of us ever expected. Yeah. You know, I think I think it's a romance amongst the entire 19 drivers on the grid. 18 because I'm about to kick Latifi out. But what's it called? 19 of the drivers on the grid, you know, and I think there is a deep camaraderie there. But like, you know, everyone has different personalities. Also, their upbringing is different. Like I know I have a friend who is Dutch and she's super sweet, but like, I mean, I think no, I mean, she's super sweet and everything like that. But like, not just her, but all my other Dutch friends, and even that part of the world, like Germany, that part, like Northern Europe, they all seem very blunt and like cut and dry and things like that. So anyway, look, let's move on to the race because we budgeted an hour and we've already we've lost for 15 minutes. Yeah. So we'll get to the race result because we know what happens. But there were three pivotal, but I want to take this bit by bit because I think it's important to do this in chronological order and get an understanding what happened. So let's start with the first major thing that happened in the race. It was first lap, they start. Hamilton gets away fantastically. Holy shit. Yeah. Bills were needed to be paid, and he paid them in the first lap. Hey!
I think that was really crucial because, oh sorry. I think that was super key because I think a lot of the races earlier in the year were decided in the start of the race because in qualies it was always Verstappen or Max, Lewis 1-2. And whoever got ahead within the start of the race always most often ended up winning it. So I think that was such a crucial moment because it was kind of like a follow, like it kind of tied into the theme of the season where whoever got ahead in the first few seconds ended up winning the race and having a better performance in the race.
And it was, go ahead, sorry.
I was just about to say, we really did underestimate Mercedes' choice of tires in that moment with the mediums, because not only did Lewis Hamilton have an incredible getaway lap, those tires served him much longer than the softs ever could. So it's like in that moment, it's like I had to concede. It's like, okay, maybe I shouldn't be the team strategist or something. Photography, I stick with that. Photography.
Yeah, I agree. I think that gave me so much hope. And that was probably, as a Lewis fan, one of the last few times I had happiness. Like it was just, it was like the man is a GOAT, and he knows it, and he knows how to get a great launch off the line, and it was very impressive. So I really do, and I'm very thrilled about that. Though I will concede, Verstappen gave him a real fight that caused the stewards to possibly get involved, but they didn't investigate. Yeah. I will say that. And it was, but I thought it worked out well, and I think it was just crazy. So I really do applaud Lewis for that. And in all of that, yes, Vishika, go ahead.
Sorry. Oh. Okay. I just wanted to say that Abu Dhabi to me is one of those tracks where you really need to have a good start, so then you can just like screw off and like do your own lap times. Because Abu Dhabi is just one of those tracks, So I think that was I think his start was very impressive. And I think that's one of Lewis's best starts that we've seen this season, because he had some whack starts. And it was really like that. We went to the Ghana Paddock Club to go watch at Labadi. And if you guys are ever in Ghana, when you come for next season, Bahrain, the energy is immaculate. It's wonderful. Everyone it's fabulous. So I really suggest you guys come if you can, if you're in Ghana. But the energy in that room on the first lap was insane. And like it was amazing. So I think that was really pivotal. Is pivotal the correct word?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Really, really pivotal for Lewis to have a really good race until let me not get ahead of myself.
Anyway, so that was amazing. And for the majority of the race, he led up until he pitted for the one and only time in the race. And he came out behind Perez. Checo, get that man a fucking raise. Hey, defender of the faith, everything. Wow. I mean, he gave me heart palpitations. He gave me all the things. He gave me defending realness. Like, the man really did take one for the team. It was fantastic. Like, I voted him my driver of the day. I don't know who ended up being driver of the day at the end of the day. I hope it was him. But he was just like, it was just wonderful. It was just mind-blowing. I was moved. We were moved. It was moving for all of us. It was wonderful.
So it's like, that was an incredible race. I mean, that was an incredible race that Checo had raced, and it's like, damn, man was doing a lot, and it's like, yeah, what's up, Affy? Affy, you have your hand raised.
I really don't mean to interrupt you, but Saddam, you did miss something that happened on the first lap. Thank you, Eugene. Remember when that was an incident at turn 1, that was a problem.
I remember.
What problem was there?
Verstappen was lungy, so Lewis had to go around to give him the advantage. Who did that?
That was what happened. Who said that? Who said that?
Please don't complain.
Why are you complaining? Why are you complaining? I do not know anything of complaining. I'm not going to say that. There was no problem there. Please. Please.
I mean, like, I kind of see where he's coming from with that, because was a dodgy a bit, but at the same time, where was Lewis Hamilton supposed to go?
Exactly.
Like, it's either go into the track, go on off the track, or hit Max.
If Max didn't want Lewis to have that advantage, he should have picked a different place for him to overtake. And why are you turning like that? Why are you turning? Salam, I'm really not having it with you today. So don't come and tell me that Lewis deserved a penalty when Verstappen was the one who caused the whole issue, caused the entire problem. I'll sue you. Tell him, honestly, get your lawyers. Oh, Eugene has also
we're
said,
going to court. Like Mercedes, we're going to court.
Said, leaving the track and gaining an advantage, you give back the place, but Mercedes negotiated to give back only the advantage.
What advantage was that?
That's where the rules were first bent that day. Okay, fine. The rules were bent the entire day. Okay.
The rules did not exist. The rule book out of that. They did not. What rule book were they using? And we will get to that because, Chale, let's talk about Checo. I want to focus on this man's accomplishments because that man, honestly, I'm surprised that Mercedes still won constructors, honestly, because Checo was a far better teammate than Bottas was. I'm not gonna lie.
Out of the race first in the middle, like they
because they had to retire him. He didn't have. I think they had an issue with this car. Every time, Checo falling on his own sword.
If Checo were to still be in the race, I'm pretty sure that Red Bull would have probably gotten constructors because Checo.
No, they wouldn't. They
wouldn't. No. Oh, what a shame. Anyways, Checo was absolutely beautiful during that race. When he gave Verstappen about 6 seconds to that's how much he stopped Lewis. His defending was
which Verstappen squandered, by the way. But anyway, continue, Rudra.
Honestly, guys, I think Checo is one of, if not the most clutch driver on the grid. Like, there's been so many times where in the right moments, like maybe he's not the most consistent, but in the right moment, he shines through. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, but last season, he when he still at Racing Point, he felt like 18th on one of the races. And then Racing Point needed him to come on the podium so they could get ahead of Ferrari in the championship, Constructors Championship. And he ended up winning the race. And like, I don't know, this guy is just so clutch, man. The right moments, he pulls through. So good.
I kind of just wish he was a little bit more consistent.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more.
Yeah.
He's a beautiful driver. And I think a lot of the reasons why he wasn't super consistent this year was out of his hands. Like he couldn't really do anything about it. But like, he's just, he deserved that. He really deserves this Red Bull seat. I think he's like, from me watching, F1 for however many years I've been watching it, I think this two pairing has been my favorite. Like Verstappen and Perez has been my favorite pairing. Who was Vettel's second?
Vettel was Lando.
Norris.
Oh, you said Vettel.
Who's
right?
Vettel's pairing? When he was in Red Bull,
Valtteri.
who was Vettel's person?
I think
it was Mark Webber.
Yeah.
I didn't have any
Mark Webber, yeah.
No one told me that.
Mark
I knew
Webber.
that information. But that was also a really good pairing. But Verstappen and Perez has been so powerful this entire season. Like they've been so good. So Checo should keep his spot.
Guys, honestly, like I feel a bit for Ricardo because imagine if he just stayed in Red Bull and waited for a faster car for just a few more years, he might have been the one winning the championship this year,
It could have been him. But then at the same time, I mean, like, it's like, how long are you willing to wait it out and convince the team to like keep it going where you got a young driver that's coming in and he seems to be delivering.
Yeah.
He seems to be quite the sensation. I understand where Daniel Ricciardo is coming from.
That's true. That's a good point.
Sedem, would you be a doll and move on to the third thing? Because I want to come and fight some people in the comments, specifically my comments.
Yeah, okay. We need to move on, guys. We need to get to it. This is gonna be painful. We gotta, for Rudra, this is glorious for you. For all of us, we're gonna be a bit sad. We need to go through it. It's difficult, but it's fine. I am going to speak the facts of the case because that's what I believe in. the facts. And then we will get to the opinions soon. So all the people that are in the comments already starting already, please calm down and we will get there. Thank you. So we are on lap 50 something.
We're on lap 53.
Thank you. We're on lap 53. There are 58 laps in this race. On lap 53, a certain Williams driver, who ye shall not be named, though, do not go doxing or doing anything or bullying this man or his girlfriend or any of his family, please. That we're above that. We can still be upset. People are doing that. Apparently on Twitter, people have gone to do this sort of thing. So please, let's not do it. Let's be better about it because it's technically not his fault. He also needs to be fighting. He's a race car driver. He can fight with Schumacher. Let him do it, okay? But I am still annoyed with him. In lap 53, while fighting with Schumacher, this certain driver went off and caused a safety car. The safety car came. Lewis was still in the lead. However, the lap cars, there were 3 or 4 lap cars between him and Verstappen. So they all bunched together. Now let's be honest, if this guy had not gone off, Verstappen and Lewis were about, honestly, I think it was 12, 11 seconds apart. It was 10, okay?
Yeah.
So Verstappen was not going to catch him. It didn't look like it was happening. But then they all bunched up together, which means Verstappen was closer to Hamilton than he was before. So they had to because they had to get the car off the track, they have to bring the safety car in. And the safety car had to be in for multiple rounds. Initially, race director said that the lap cars will not be allowed to overtake, meaning that on the very last, when the safety car left, which was going to happen on the last lap, Verstappen would have to have overtaken all the other lap cars before getting to Hamilton. Whether or I will get to opinions later. But then that guy had a brainwave. He decided to be a genie and say, you know what? Let the lap cars between Hamilton and Verstappen go away. So they lapped Hamilton, and Hamilton on tires that were 30-something laps old, was overtaken by a Verstappen on soft tires that was barely 1 lap old. And that is how Max Verstappen became world champion for 2021. Would anyone like to begin the rants and the raging or the celebrations now? Svishika, go on ahead.
Okay, first, McCaffrey, you're dead to me. Don't come back. Anyway, so this is what McCaffrey has come to say. So, in the first place was Max's and Mercedes, and the FIA stole that from him by not giving back the place during the first lap. The race ended exactly how it should have been. So I think why McCaffrey is saying this, and let me know if I'm wrong since you're in the chat, but I think why you're saying this is because the place was not returned during lap 1, right? So then the place was given back in the last lap. That's the logic I'm assuming you're using, even though I'm not sure because I'm not you. That doesn't even make sense. If you're going to return the place back to someone, you need to give it back during the lap that it happened. What do you mean? That the race should not have ended the way it should have. The FIA should not. Michael Massey, that guy, he shouldn't have been making up rules during the race. I agree that like lap 1 looked sketch. It looks very sketchy. So I can understand why an investigation would have taken place. I completely understand that. And maybe it should have, and maybe the place should have been given back. But for the place to be given back during the last lap of the race doesn't make sense. Also, the strategy that Mercedes used during the race of keeping Lewis on old tires for the entire race also made no sense. Like Toto should be yelling at his team. No, it didn't make sense. It didn't make sense.
No,
it didn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense in the context of no. Wait. Red Bull strategy is just do what Mercedes does not do. That's what their
No,
strategy
it was good because during the safety car,
it is. Anyway,
during the safety car,
I'm with you, bitch. Please, calm down.
they had Verstappen coming to get off tires. That was
In the
very smart.
It was. I agree with you. But in the context of the way the track is laid out, they decided to go the one-stop strategy because he was on medium tires to only switch to softs. So it made sense. But I agree. I think every time there was a safety car, there was a VFC, they said no. There was an actual SC, they said no. That was an error on Mercedes, on Mercedes' part. Because at the very least, at the end of the thing, they could have. Red Bulls, but then it also meant losing track position as well too. So I completely understand why they wouldn't want to do that at the second one, because there would be no time for him to come back and gain it. Be honest, Abby. The way they busted everything out, Red Bull would not have pitted, and Verstappen would still have won.
I'm agreeing with you, but let's not act like Lewis is incompetent and can't overtake Verstappen. He can. I would just like to welcome McCaffrey, who's the only seemingly sane person inside of the chat, right? Oh, sorry, I don't mean to offend half of the people. I mean to offend. Anyways, McCaffrey, welcome. He said that pressuring over the radio award goes to Red Bull. Now, can I just say that we don't hear, when we're watching the race, we don't hear all of the communications that happen between teams. Red Bull was screaming. Mr. Karen Horner was screaming at Massey during the safety car. Like, let's not act like that didn't happen. Just because Toto went, no, Mikey, no, don't do that, Mikey. No, Mikey, please don't do that. Please, let's ignore that. He was freaking out. No, but the safety car was wrong. So let's also think about that. Also, that's very iconic. I'm going to remember the no, Mikey, no, that's not right, Mikey, please, no, Mikey. That's my favorite part of the race, to be honest.
You got there was a whole car that's beached into a side of like a barrier. There's no way a safety car couldn't come out. That one I think is clear. What I still am at a loss for is like how to end it. Like, it's more so a sense of do for Vergoose, you do for Vigander. Like, if it's either all or with Michael Massey, in his part, it's either all or it's nothing. That's the way I see it. All the cars that should have been unlapped should have unlapped, because Carlos Sainz, he could have taken second if he wanted to. And Daniel Ricciardo, he could have also done some stuff too. But there's a bunch of lap cars ahead of them. Or it's just like nobody unlaps. The safety car brings the race to an end. Lewis Hamilton becomes eight-time world champion. So that's, in a sense, that's for me where the confusion comes in.
Personally, I thought that would have been fair. It's not my fault that ye that shall not be named decided to go off at the 53rd lap and then they had to run the safety car for 5 laps. That's not my fault.
Rudra, how do you feel?
I mean, again, I don't want to blow your guys. Never mind. I don't want to rain on the party, but I kind of agree with Michael Massey and Asia's former argument for the rule. I mean, like at the end of the day, as Massey said, it's a race, and I think they kind of, you kind of have to lean into that and kind of play the race out, because at the end of the day, it's a sport, and like I feel so attacked here, and you guys aren't even said anything.
I hope you feel it.
Rudra. Oh, Rudra.
No, but the issue is, what I'm mad about is the fact that Mikey made up rules throughout the race. He also did this in he made up rules. Look,
it was not consistent the entire season either. I mean, there were so many things.
Terrible. And look, I think this is the one thing that Red Bull and Mercedes fans can agree upon, because Saudi was awful. Massey, some of Massey's calls didn't make sense. The calls that
all were complaining just about a week ago about this. It was a whole hot mess. She said it twice this week. Get your house in order. That weekend, get your house in order, Massey.
It was worse.
Michael Massey is running an animal house.
Completely.
And it's like, and that's something that we can all agree on. He's done calls that have favored Mercedes. Like McAfee is kind of right. Maybe this is payback for what happened in lap 1. And he's done calls that have favored Red Bull. It goes both ways. And it's like, at the same time, you got to wonder, and even though it's a tough job, doing this job, at some point, you got to call spade a spade and question, when is this right?
I know a lot of the social media reaction post-race was that of people who have been like ardent fans for years of F1 threatening to like cancel their subscriptions or just leave watching the sport altogether until the FIA kind of like codifies and fixes all the rules. So it's like super explicit and there's no like loopholes or anything, because there've been, a lot of people have argued that at certain races and at certain moments, the sport has almost kind of been like manipulated because of a lack of explicit rules and because of like Massey's rule calling and shot calling. I remember there's like a big discussion on that.
And I completely agree. I mean, look, I want to be also very clear about this. For me in particular, I don't know about my sisters or not, as a Lewis Hamilton fan, I have no beef for the first time ever against Max Verstappen. I think he drove like a champion. I think I've said this like all season. He will be a champion someday. I unfortunately got my prediction incorrect and said it would be next year, but it's now this year. So, I mean, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. But I don't have any beef on it. And Red Bull, honestly, they played their cards really well and they ended up lucking out they lucked out because who knew the fuck what was going on in Massey's head the entire time? And my biggest beef is the FIA. The FIA was ridiculous. It was absolutely, it felt manufactured. It felt like, what Massey's comfort, like Rudra, you alluded to this when he said it's just motor racing. This is motorsport. That felt kind of bullshit to me, to be honest, because it felt like, how like you get, like something is, there are rules there. Like, it's like the person that is the keeper of the rules, right? They just make up the rules as they go. And then their excuse is it's just motorsport or it's just whatever it is. That's a bit bullshit, to be honest. Like, there is a rule book for a reason. Mm-hmm. Try your best to keep to it. And I know that there is a clause in the rule book that says that it's under the race director's interpretation or things like that. But the race interpreter did not do anything that was stipulated under the thing. He did something completely different that made no sense to me. And it felt like it was a manufactured result. And so that is why I feel really bad for Max. I feel very bad for Lewis, because there's always going to be an element of what if. Like, what if it went this way? What if it went that way? There are always going to be people, and I might be one of them. I've been one of them. I've been fighting people on the F1 Paddock Club all this week about it because I've been really annoyed about it. But like, I think, there's always going to be an element of doubt for this championship because of the way it ended on that last lap. And that, I mean, look, I don't think Max will I don't know if Max will care or not, but like, I know there'll be like a little niggly feeling being like, oh shit, there are a good chunk of people, Formula One fans out there that don't consider me a real true champion. So I think that's the thing for me that really gets it. I think Massey robbed a lot of people of a wonderful, magical moment. Yeah. And I think...
sorry, Ase, can I, just to intro, I want to bring what the chat is saying back, because Eugene is saying that what Toto asked for was ridiculous. Okay.
Which is what? What did Toto ask for that was ridiculous?
He just told Massey what he was doing wasn't right. The one thing that I'll say was ridiculous was asking the safety car to stop, because that was a bit much. And then you can't. And then Eugene also said you can't make demands to the race director. What has Red Bull been doing all season? What do you mean?
Exactly. The race director. What has Red Bull been doing the entire season?
Let me not just say Red Bull. All teams have been doing this season. All teams. Yeah. We only hear of Red Bull and Mercedes because they were the two really fighting for constructors and for drivers' championship. So let's not that's not. What do you mean no? What do you mean no? Let's not.
Wait, guys.
Then why are you drinking so much water?
Keep going with your train of thoughts after Shika.
No, sorry, McCaffrey distracted me. But basically, I think that's BS. You know, the race director can add laps onto races. Like, that's legal. So that even would have been fair, even more fair to do. And like, that's not I say you look like a painting. That's not a bad thing. Like, that would have been a lot more fun of a race than just watching the last lap. It would have been great. We could have watched Verstappen overtake a bunch of lap cars and then try and fight for the championship a little bit more fairly. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not get it twisted. All the teams have asked for something from the race director throughout the season.
And why
And not
wouldn't
even
they?
just and not even just the season. Let's not forget the Racing Points and their whole debacle last season about them apparently copying Mercedes' winning car from, like, I think 2 seasons prior before that. They also had words with stewards and shit and stuff like that. They had words with the teams that lodged the appeals and things like that. Like, don't get it twisted that this is not a sport that is very political. It is incredibly political. There is a lot of lobbying. There's a lot of backdoors. That's the reason why Mercedes is not appealing this thing. Like, there's a lot of shady shit that goes on with it. It's a very political sport. So I think for anyone to say that no one should question the race director is utter nonsense. Because we've all sat here as armchair stewards and questioned the race director. And I'm questioning, and now there's a lot more people loudly doing it. And I don't know. I mean, it looks like he's probably going to keep his job, which is, I'm pissed. I don't know if I'll actually, I mean, like, I will not take anything the stewards ever say in any race if he's still race director for anything, you know? Like, I don't, why have we lost multiple people? Anyway, there's a lot of it to it, you know? And that's my grain of salt. But I do want to be very clear that at least from all of us at Box Goss, even us as Lewis Hamilton fans, we do want to say congratulations to Max Verstappen. Because
very deserved.
What a season. Like, on the numbers alone, it makes sense. And I'm even surprised that Hamilton even tied with him, honestly. At the end of before Abu Dhabi, to be brutally honest with you, I was not expecting that.
I also think that was cooked. You know, I honestly think that was cooked. I truly think that Saudi was totally cooked so that we could have a more interesting race in Abu Dhabi with two of the
so that Abu Dhabi would finally for once be the decider rather than it be some other race like Brazil, which is honestly a better decider. Which, by the way, FIA, if you want to start doing mea culpas, move Brazil to the end. Thank you. Like, none of this Abu Dhabi should never be the contender ever again. Like, why? No. Brazil, Interlagos is we've loved it for years. Interlagos has been a much better track to do the final at. Please.
Wait, guys, because you guys were in, wait, you guys were in Labadi, right?
We were at Labadi.
Yeah. What was the reaction like by what was the consensus with everyone who's watching when Masi was kind of making
some people cried. I don't know who specifically, but like there was someone who did cry.
Someone cried that day. It was pretty divided. Some people, half of it was like, "Oh my gosh, what has happened?"
Not divided.
Right. And another half was celebrating and taking pictures.
Please don't do that.
It was not half. Please don't do that. Don't lie like that.
1/16
it
of the
was
room
literally
was
1/8 of the group of the room was in jubilation while the whole rest of the place went silent. I'm not gonna lie. Ghana, Accra, the Paddock Club is a massive Lewis stronghold. So a lot of us were upset. And look, McCuffrey was there, Eugene was there, who are, shout out to you guys in the comments, and we can't wait to have you, McCuffrey back for another season, and Eugene finally on. But like, you know, honestly, I would like to say to those two in particular, you were so gracious in your win that like, I appreciated that. And I do.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, you guys
Yeah,
can
absolutely.
celebrate
Yeah.
it, but like there was a grace in it, and I'm like, I do appreciate that in the moment, and I hope one day us Lewis fans can return the favor.
Oh no! Oh no! The favor will not be returned. We will.
No, it will be
celebrate.
returned. We should
The
return
favor
it.
will be returned.
We will be returned.
No, because I feel like you guys will celebrate too, because then Lewis can leave the sport, and then we can have Verstappen become, well, I don't know, 19th drivers world champion, and then it will
I mean,
be,
at that
and I'll be happy. I think that will be fun though.
Oh yeah, we'll get to it. I mean, you know, there's also another thing is that with everything that's gone on, there is rumors that Lewis is retiring. And before we get to the tier list, because we really do need to get to the tier list, and this will be our last thing that we sign off with, is that Lewis, please, we beg, please, don't leave like this. Don't do this. Even Max has said that you have so much to fight for the next season. Max even says that you need to come back. Please. Like, if you ever see this, if by chance you ever see this with me, by the way, I'm also single, but if you ever see this, like, please.
Can we get our some button, please?
Don't.
I know I made a.
Time.
But no, it's like
I have time.
In
I
all
know, I have to
seriousness, I can understand if he leaves, because it's like, I mean, how long has he been at this for? 15 years. And it's been like, he's gotten the brunt of I mean, in some senses, he has gotten a lot of flack for his driving. And it's like, it comes down to this, where the governing body, where there's a lot of controversy around the way he has lost a record-breaking title, I would kind of understand if he hangs up the gloves and says, I don't have the vim to do it anymore. But something tells me he's coming back, and he's coming back with a vengeance. And should he come back with that vengeance, should I be right? I mean, I'd love to see him return. I'd love to see it, but I also don't blame him if this is how we say goodbye to him. It would be sad, but I'll understand.
I think I can understand why he would leave, because of how much flack he's gotten. So when you feel like you get so much shit from fans, and you get a bit of shit from drivers, and now you're getting shit from like the governing body of the sport you work in, that's not a good feeling. I wouldn't want to stay.
Not a toxic work environment.
What?
You know, I hope that Lewis
Toxic work environment.
Yeah. So like, I think I wouldn't be surprised if he left. He shouldn't. I don't think he should leave, because I still think he should break all the records and then leave. But I can understand why he would be so tired. He would be over it.
I hope that Lewis doesn't retire either, because I made a bet with someone, assuming that Lewis is still in the sport in 2023, that George will outscore Lewis in terms of points. So if he doesn't retire, I get 100 CDs. So, you know, please don't retire.
So Afi, you're going to be poor by 100. You better make that 100. You got a city there.
Oh,
I didn't make this bet. This is
it wasn't with Afi.
Oh, wow. It usually is.
I don't make. Oh, I still need to wear. Hey, anyone on the stream who lives in Ghana, if you guys have orange that I can borrow, that would be really kind. I need to wear that to school when we come back. So if anyone has orange, I do need some. Thank you.
Anyway, guys, we have to wrap this up. This has been a crazy season. We have tier lists that we have done, and you guys literally have like 2 minutes to go over your tier list and honestly go through it. No, I'm not even kidding. Guys, we'll be at an hour soon. Anyway, so I'm wondering if our technical guy, Selim, could tell us who's going to be the first one up, if possible. I know. Maybe if you can pull up Rudra's, and so we can give him the floor. if Rudra has it. Okay, Rudra, go for it. Tell us how you feel.
So I mean, the top two, I don't know if you guys can see it, but like the top two just has to be the top two, the best of the best. I mean, Max and Lewis. At the beginning of the season, when I think it was the second or third installment of BBG, I put Daniel Ricciardo there as well because I thought he's going to like come top 4 in the McLaren. But now he's in quality midfield drivers. And then for the borderline champions, I changed that quite drastically as well. So last year I had George, Leclerc, and Checo on that tier. And this year it's been Sainz and Lando. So it's been a complete change. I think just like Sainz has been super consistent all season, and Lando has had an amazing season as well. And then the best of the rest, I just put everyone who had like a relatively good season. So, Alonso, Gasly, Leclerc, Ocon, Checo, George, I think all had relatively good seasons. I was also trying to be a bit more critical with this tier list than last one because I think I was a bit too generous with the last tier list. So I think everyone from best of the rest upwards had a relatively good season. Now with quality midfield drivers, I put, unfortunately, and it pained me, but Ricciardo there, Vettel, Bottas, Mick, and Raikkonen. I think they all had subpar seasons. I don't know what the correct word is or how to phrase this, but I think they could have done better with the cars they were given, or they didn't really showcase their talent. Maybe Mick could have been up in the other tier, but I think the other drivers, they could have done much, much more. And then in something to prove, I put Giovinazzi, but he's already gone. So I guess he's out of the equation. And I put Yuki, and I don't think Afi would like to hear this, but Lance.
I'm going to sue you.
But yeah, I just feel like they had really mediocre seasons, and we had so much hype for them coming into the season, Yuki and Lance, and they messed it up. So, and then I put at risk, I put Mazepin because like I don't think I even need to explain it. And then Latifi's already gone. So yeah, that was my tier list.
I know.
Excellent. Okay, Afi, you're next.
Oh wow, really? I don't even remember what mine is, to be completely honest. So, Salam, if you could figure. Why are you so rude?
What? No, why can't you remember things, Afi?
No, I do remember. Okay, Mom. Okay. So I have it. Gosh. Okay, for the best of the best, I put Hamilton and Verstappen and Raikkonen because how could I not? But last year, or like in the beginning of the season, I had Ricardo up there. Moving on to borderline champions, I have Russell and Checo and Sainz. Sainz was absolutely beautiful this entire season. He was consistent. He did what he needed to do. He knew when to push and when not to push, and he didn't crash his car into barriers when he was going to come in pole. So that's why I put him borderline. But actually in the beginning of the season, I didn't have them there. I actually had his teammate Leclerc, how he has fallen. And I had Checo and Russell in borderline champions there as well, just because they have a lot to prove, and like they've also been quite good during the season, and I'm excited to see Russell in that Mercedes. For quality.
Wait, guys, I mean, Afi, I don't want to interrupt you, but how many of us thought that Charles was going to beat Carlos in terms of points this season? Because I definitely did. I didn't expect that.
I did.
He was amazing. Oh my gosh, Sainz really did come through for Ferrari. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Operators operating.
So I got rid of best of the rest, that tier, because I don't know. I put no one in it, so I just decided to get rid of it. But for quality midfield, put Gasly, Stroll, because he wasn't that bad. I put Alonso, Vettel, and Lando in. Lando I find slightly problematic. Either I find him slightly problematic or his team. His team makes such strange calls. Hence why I also put Ricardo inside of Something to Prove, because I was on the fence with Ricardo. I didn't know if his team just kept shafting him or if he couldn't drive. So I was a little bit some way about it, but I stuck to putting Ricardo in Something to Prove. And for Bottas, Schumacher, Yuki, and Ocon, I don't know. I thought they did pretty well during the season, to be honest. I thought they did okay. I mean, Bottas, obviously he did awful for a Mercedes driver, but Schumacher, Yuki, and Ocon winning his first with his teammates' help, so that's why his teammate is above him. Yuki came through at the end of the season, which I really wasn't expecting. And Schumacher, I can't put him any lower. I love that guy. And then at risk is Leclerc, because he was ass. He sucked. Giovinazzi, I don't remember him. And then for the last thing that I have on is it. I shall not say his name. He grosses me out. That's my tier list. Thank you.
Let's say yeah.
So Mazepin, I'm sorry if we don't say his name on the show. The driver that shall not be named is there. I mean, on top of the fact that he's very problematic and has done a lot of really terrible things, so a lot of people on and off the track, he kept spinning. So, I mean, the only reason at this point, it's kind of clear why he's there, and there is 20 million reasons why Haas keeps them there. So, you know, I found Nicholas Latifi and Antonio Giovinazzi pretty forgettable this year. Like, Antonio Giovinazzi, he was starting to do well for the team, but then at the same time, at this point, his time was running out. He's been there for 3 years, and now he's decided to show out. Well, how he left was very unfortunate and very cruel, kind of, but I'm sorry, better luck in Formula E. Latifi, he scored points, I'll give him that, but it was kind of forgettable, so to speak. I'm sorry. Like, I want, like, rookie, the rookies, his thing is gone. It's just meh, because both Mick Schumacher and Yuki Tsunoda it just seemed like them going through teething problems, to be fair. Mick Schumacher his car is made out of box tops, I'm pretty sure. And Yuki Tsunoda, he got it back in the end, which I'm really sorry that we didn't recognize him for his 4th place position in Abu Dhabi. Bringing it back, starting to prove us wrong, but at the same time, he hasn't had a very good year, so to say. Lance Stroll, he was decent. He was there. He did what he could have done better, actually. Bottas, he won in Turkey in front of Selim. That's pretty impressive. But at the same time, he wasn't really doing what he needed to be done for Mercedes, and if it wasn't for Checo Perez not retiring at Abu Dhabi, Red Bull would have won Constructors' Championship. Trust. Pierre Gasly, kind of expecting he was okay, but kind of forgettable. You lost him in the background, and so with Sebastian Vettel. To be fair to Sebastian Vettel and Lando Norris, Aston Martin was going through teething problems, but I still look forward to seeing No Time to Die. Kimi Räikkönen, he was good, and he gave us some pretty memorable battles with Kimi Räikkönen and Fernando Alonso, but we kind of lost him in the background. Lando Norris was pretty good. His maturity is starting to show. Like Charles Leclerc, he was good. I'm gonna say it. He did pretty good this year. Could have been better, but it was just like, hey, you got pole versus that. Esteban Ocon. The only reason why I put him as very good was because he won at Hungary, to be honest. So it kind of brings him up. And Daniel Ricciardo, same. He won in Italy. He's still a very talented driver, and I don't believe he's ever left us. He's been going through stuff. That's all. Carlos Sainz, though, 4 podiums and a cameo in Money Heist. Irate. Love it. Love this for him. He did the job. Very underrated, and he deserves a lot more respect on his name. George Russell, he got second place in Belgium, even though that wasn't a race. And he brought his car up into Q3 twice. That's amazing. And Fernando Alonso, I put him in super impressive because the way he was doing the stuff that he was doing, he did a lot with that car. And on top of that, he also got to drive the same car on the Le Mans track. That was kind of cool. Checo Perez is the wingman that we all want, which is why I put him at the best of the best. He wasn't always the most consistent, but when he was on, he was on. The way he was on, and it was really cool to see. And Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen, I'm putting him in top tier because it's the way they performed over this year, they lost the plot in some parts, but then they got it back. So I that's what I think.
Yeah. No, I say I agree with you on a lot of things, and now it's time for mine, which will be fun. Congratulations to Verstappen on his promotion to best of the best, because he is the best of the best, and alongside with Lewis, when you win a championship, especially with a 7-time world championship, a champion battling you for it, you deserve that. So congratulations. I only put one person in my super impressive, or my super impressive one, which was Checo, because to be honest, and he's a borderline champion to me. To be honest, there was no other person that I felt like really rose to his level, to those three's level this entire season. I think they were all in a league of their own, and I think it really did show. So I think it was amazing. I was surprisingly really generous about the best of the rest. Sainz, I think, did really well. I think the McLaren boys both did quite well, given everything. There was some strong finishes. There was some disappointing shit, but there was some strong stuff. I think Russell, with that car that I think also is made out of box tops with maybe a little bit of magic, just worked wonders with the car. I think also Gasly, did well, but honestly, I think I'm a bit blinded by Gasly at this moment. He needs to step his game up for next season. I think he was a bit lacking. And Alonso, defender. I think what's it called? Checo took lessons from Alonso. Defender. Wow. Excellent. For his first time back in Formula One, welcome back. It was very, very well done. They were decent. Bottas really fell for me. Bottas was not great. Actually, Bottas is in the same spot that I put him at the beginning of the season. Wow. He was just not. He was just something else, honestly. He was quite disappointing. But you know what? I couldn't put him any lower than that because he did deliver Mercedes an 8th Constructors Championship. That deserves to be recognized on some level, and I think that was very impressive. And I think he'll do wonders at Alfa Romeo being the top dog now, because what is he going to be? What, the second to Zhao? Please. Anyway, also alongside with him was Leclerc. That was a bad season for him. Look, congratulations on pole in Monaco, but to crash out getting it is disappointing. Anyway, and Ocon, I don't care if he got first out in Hungary. I really don't. I think he was very mediocre. And I feel bad for putting Vettel there. But Vettel needed to be there. Or, something to prove. Fischer, your boy is in trouble. The fact that I forgot that it was his 100th Grand Prix in Abu Dhabi is disastrous. He did not do well this season. The promise of 2020 died. Anyway, Giovinazzi, I put him there because he decided to become impressive after he lost his seat. Good for him. Anyway, Raikkonen, I'm sorry I couldn't put you higher, but like you did okay. And Tsunoda, that 4th place finish in Abu Dhabi after all the madness, good for him. I appreciate that. He did quite well as a rookie, so I couldn't put him any lower than that. But the Canadian driver that shall not be named, and Schumacher, I'm sorry, babes, you need a new team. Like you had moments, but like Chale, sometimes I forgot you were there, and I did not rank the other driver who I do not care for. But the Canadian driver, I'm not even kidding. I said it last race because I really did not care for him. I really do not care for him, and I am shocked that he got a renewal with Williams. Really am, honestly. Anyway, yes.
Before we end, I just want to bring up a hot take from Ahmed. He said, Bottas over George, in terms of being a good teammate and even a driver, or even as a driver, Bottas was clutch for Mercedes constructor points. How can you compare the two on teammates basis when they haven't been in? How can you do that? You take global politics and you're comparing it to badly. How can you do that? How can you compare Bottas, who was in Mercedes, to Russell, who was in Williams and hasn't been in Mercedes yet? How do you do that? I mean, he was there for one race and they shafted him. And even in that race, Russell was beating Bottas like nobody.
I actually will admit, though, Bottas came into Mercedes as an experienced driver with nothing really much to prove, and he was chill. Russell has shit to prove. Like, all the promise and things like that. I think there will be some things. There will be some mishaps. I think we will get a taste of Rosberg again with Russell. I'm concerned about that because he will be coming in with something to prove for sure. He'll have a chip on his shoulder. He's a very talented kid, and I really look forward to him. I don't know how much of a team player he's going to be as Bottas. I will say that. I do understand where he's coming from. So, guys, we have to end. We have been here for a while. No.
Lando Norris is live. We need to go. I want to go and watch his stream. So.
Okay. True. Anyway, we need to all. Ladies and gentlemen, Rudra, first of all, thank you so much for being with us here today. We appreciate you. Thank you. Do you have anything you want to plug before we go?
No, just if you can find me a date for my prom, that would be great next year. Thank you, Salim. Also, guys, if BBG can make this tier listing a tradition at the end of each season, I think that would be so great. Like, I think it'd be a nice way to cap off the season. And yeah,
yes, we'll do it for you. That'll be your legacy.
Thank you, guys.
For you. So we'll be back next season for a new tier list, and then we'll do it at the end of the next season. So thank you so much. We also want to. He's been a quiet force behind this stream. I'm not sure if you've heard him. I'm sure you might. I don't know, but like, we also want to give a massive thank you to our 4th teammate, Selim. We love you so much. We thank you so much for everything that you've done on the season. We can't thank you enough, honestly, for doing this and for being that person for us. So thank you so much. And also I'd love to finally thank my girls. Woo! We did it, girls! We did it! Listen, there was a lot of ups and downs, but the highs were amazing, and I couldn't have better co-hosts. I love you both. We're sisters, by the way, if you didn't get that understanding.
Yeah, all 5 of us are sisters.
Before we go, I would like to thank our pit crew. You guys have been you guys have been awesome. And also to past guests, we love you too, and we hope to see you again next season. And this was lots of fun. This was great.
A very long season too.
Very long.
Yes, we need a break. So on that note, I say, do you want to have any last thing to say?
I'm
sorry, but this season actually ended this way. I mean, I'm sorry to Max. Lance drove an amazing season, and he did win. And I will recognize it. He won the championship for Max. But it's like it's sad to see him win on this note. And I'm sorry to Lewis, who deserved a fair fight as well too. So much so. I'm sorry to Carlos Sainz, Yuki Tsunoda, and Lance Stroll, who actually had his 100th race start. I'm sorry that this actually puts a damper on your thing, and I hope this next year there will be some changes that will make it better. And and I just hope that we hope to see the grid back. And we just hope I hope next year will be a good year, just as good.
Yeah. All 19 of you. And so with that, we love you all. Thank you so much for tuning into our very first season. And we will see you hopefully, maybe if we have the energy, we might do something for the testing and things like that, because I know it's a long time to wait until March. Fishika says absolutely not. But we're gonna regroup, recalibrate, breathe, vibe, do all of those things, and we will see you back in about 90 days for the Bahrain Grand Prix. We love you lots. Take care, everyone. Happy holidays.
Thanks so much.
Bye, pit crew. Woo!
Circles.
Fuck yes.